What's going on, team? How we doing out there? You guys are back, of course. Start swing trade. We're ready to take a look into this market. And of course, it hasn't been easy by any means. And it looks like we got ourselves another chop fest here, as I'm calling it. And you guys can take a look. Just look at the stocks, look at the action. What do you guys see on the chart? Range bounds from the top to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, to the top. Similar action that we got on Friday, right? Down, up, down, up. Will it end the day going up here through 443 or a takedown through 441? What do I expect? More sideways action, more chop action. This is where, as traders, we must be careful because if we get caught in the chop, what ends up happening? Well, number one thing you end up doing is a lot of the times over trading. And this is specifically what ends up ruining a lot of retail traders and day traders out there that just can't handle when the chop comes to hit. What do we need to do a lot of the times? Hit that brake pedal. Wait till we start seeing trends develop so that we can partake when there is trends in the market. One of the hardest things to do is to day trade in sideways action because a lot of the times you're just going to get caught in the chop. Next thing you know, you've taken your trades and you have no more ammo by the time the trends are actually defined, and you lose your confidence a lot of the times because you've taken so many repeated losses. This is why I think it's important to also know when to hit that brake pedal and when to even maybe not trade. Yes, I'm saying it, team. There's certain times where we can actually just not trade and not be in the market. And that might actually be better for us in a time like now where we're seeing what? Uncertainty on both sides. The tech trade just can't catch fire anymore. And it seems like that AI trade is completely done, even though NVIDIA came with good numbers. Then when I look around, and I look at the sectors, I don't see too much leading or coming down. That's when we really got to be careful because the number one thing we don't want to be is pigs, of course, because they get slaughtered. And why do they get slaughtered? Because they're in the middle. And right now, it feels like the pressure is actually on both sides of the market. Pressure on the bulls because we can't get these tech names to continue to rally anymore. And then pressure on the bears as you see what? These quick little turnarounds to the upside. So let's take a look into the market. Let's see what's going on here and where we can find some trends. Of course, I always like to focus on the sectors in the industry analysis. So let's go ahead and do that. I will let you guys know my consumer cyclical. There's something wrong with the index today with that. I'm not going to go into too much of consumer cyclical. Well, let's keep going. Let's talk about what was hot today. You got communication services, real estate, and basic materials doing pretty well. Basic materials, we saw silver with a nice little big jump there. You guys are taking a look at that. That was a decent trade. You can take a look at AG. You can take a look at MAG. That definitely got the lift today. Aluminum getting a nice little push. And so we'll keep an eye out on this. Gold pushing up there. And so gold starting to get going. We can keep an eye out on names like AU, GOLD. As I see GOLD and AU pull back here, this makes me want to come after this one right here and maybe swing trade it into tomorrow, because if we could have some downside action day, this doesn't look too bad. I love AU when it starts to trend. I got caught on the last time I tried to play this. We'll see if we're able to ride it up again and get this to start trending. Could jump in right here at 1729s, but I have a feeling we might get another test towards this 17 tomorrow. So I'll be looking for pullbacks on AU to maybe get long on some gold play. Of course, swing trading action right now, I only have an industrial play. We'll get into that action coming up here. Smash the like, guys. All right, if you guys take a look at agricultural inputs, also getting a little bit of a bounce there. Metals and minerals bouncing a little bit, aluminum, steel. Let's take a look at coal. Coal's one area that I've been trying to keep a close eye on to see what would happen. Would we get the next lift? BTU down today tells me that I got to be careful here, because just because the leaders are going CEIX and AMR doesn't mean that all of them are going to catch fire. So keep this on your radar. We'll see what happens there. Now, an area that I did talk about, which was industrials, I do want to tell you guys a little bit more about and where you guys can keep up with all this action, right? One of the things that I want to do is I want to give you guys access, of course, to different resources. And one of the resources that I've been doing lately is doing what? Well, I've been doing the sunrise report on my Twitter. You guys can always follow me at MoneyMitchBZ. Of course, hit the like button. And another way you guys can keep up with a lot of the action is, of course, my community, the Sunrise Report. And you guys can check that out. Of course, I do that also through Benzinga and let you guys know about it. But you guys can check it out, right? And I think what the important part is I'm going to be giving you guys updates in the middle of the day, things like this. What did I say today? I said I'm looking for XLI and names in industrials to stay hot. Will they stay hot? Let's keep an eye on it. I'm looking at stocks like UPS getting a little bit of a lift after, of course, the Teamster deal goes through on Friday. We started seeing a little lift towards the end of the day. Now it's kind of holding in there. Will it hold 167 or will it push back through the 170? Caterpillar started the day off pretty strong. We'll see if this can catch the lift back above the 9 EMA. Deere, same thing. A little bit of a move. We'll see if this can really kind of hold on. GE is one that I talked about also. Look at this thing. We are just playing the game, guys, playing the game. We actually broke down through the channel, but now are looking like we want to come back up, right back through that 115. So even though GE has gone insane amount of distance, hey, who knows? It could be pushing right back up through 116. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what happens in those industrial names and different area. You guys can keep an eye out for those. I did also see some auto names, of course, taking a recent lift. Of course, VFS has been all the hot stock to try to trade. A lot of people talking about this one. I'll tell you right now, I haven't traded this one once, and I don't think I'm going to trade it here. I think it has no business being up here. But then again, it doesn't matter what I think, right? It doesn't matter what a lot of people think. The only thing that matters is the stock is moving up. We'll see if it can get the lift back here through the 88 and continue to run. And this stock, I mean, I honestly don't know why people are buying it up. I think, I mean, at least from what I've seen in the fundamentals, in the outlook, in the story, I've never even seen a VinFast auto. Let's just be honest. Until it kind of went to IPO, I never even seen it. And I'm sorry about that. Hendrix, believe it or not, hit the button there. So it looks like Hendrix wants to execute Order 66 on Star Wars, but hey, you know how it is sometimes. Let's keep going, teams. We'll see what else is going out there. Straight out the 954, that man Neville, you know it. Alien Watch, what are you taking a look at today? Any aliens out there? You let me know. I've seen more and more UFO sightings, but we won't get into that. All right, let's keep going, guys. What else is being mentioned out there in the markets today? Of course, we can take a look to see what other stocks are getting the lift. Financial services weren't that bad today, but look how JPM is kind of ending the day. Still looking like it's leaking, and so is the KRE. A little part of me is thinking about shorting the KRE just because I've been seeing the market come down, and I'm going to keep an eye out on this. I think this is definitely something to watch for as we start to get into more and more trouble. We've had now 3 attempts to get above this 44.50s. If it tries to make that attempt yet tomorrow and then fails, I'll be looking for this for a nice little short back down the 43.50s. And this is really where I could see the worry come back into the market, is if we do get some regional bank concerns. Next thing you know, we're taking a major hit on the XLF, and then we're down, right back down, and there goes the SPY, there goes the Qs on some downside action. We'll see what happens there. If we take a look at leadership today, Apple getting back to the green, that's not a bad one to keep a watch on as we get closer and closer to iPhone release. We'll see if that gives it a lift. All right, let's keep going, team. If you guys see any stocks that's on your radar, feel free to throw it up in the chat, and we'll keep running through some names here. All right, let's move towards what was down on the day. Of course, what was down on the day, we got utilities, healthcare, and those didn't do that great. I mean, healthcare wasn't the worst because it started in the green. So there's some areas here that don't look too bad, but we'll see what happens. on some of these names, but right now, not the strongest names in this space. We have seen some pullback, so it doesn't look too bad. I saw some biotechs start the day into the green. Not looking too great now as you start to see pullback in Moderna and names like that. I did see NVAX getting a little bit of a lift from mentions from this weekend, and that got a little bit of a push. We'll see how it does here towards the end of the day. Will this continue to give like bio and tech a continued lift? Doesn't look too bad. Definitely getting a little push up, but you guys know how I've talked about playing it. Another way would be trying to maybe play the IBB for a move to the upside. Doesn't look too bad if we can actually start getting back here through the 129 and pushing towards the 130s. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep it going. I do see some stocks in the chat. We'll get through some of those. Hot Dog Jones looking to buy Walgreens on the weakness from the Rite Aid bankruptcy. Well, I saw Rite Aid actually be getting a lift today, and that was interesting to see that get the lift. So we'll see what happens there. It's up there towards 80 cents today. Let's take a look at Walgreens to see if that's getting a boost off of this, and it's not. And so a little bit of a weird action there, and seeing that so weak, that worries me there on Walgreens. This doesn't look good here for Walgreens. We're starting to come back to levels back in 1999, guys. We're back there in Walgreens. This looks like a company that's slowly but surely maybe going out of business. Who knows? But I can tell you right now, nothing looks good there in Walgreens. I wouldn't want to touch it, especially on that investor outlook that you're already back here towards 2019, 2018, 1999 prices. I mean, guys, we're 24 years from someone that invested in 1999 in Walgreens, and they've gone nowhere. If anything, they're about to lose some money. Not what you want to see. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. I do have American Airlines, and I'm keeping a close eye on this to see what happens in these airlines. Can I make a move back to 15? That's what I'm looking for. I see that bottoming action. This is when I got in it. We'll see if this can really start making its way back above the 200-day, especially the 9 EMA. Close above the 9 EMA, take the 200, and we'll be feeling really good about American Airlines. We'll see what happens here. And I'm also taking a look at some other airlines to see if I can get another little bit of a downturn to see these start to turn. DAL actually looking pretty decent already as it starts to turn through 43s. I can look to maybe risk off the 41s. This is not a bad stock to keep in mind. And even why not Love Southwest back down there to 30s. Remember, we actually bought this in the 30s going up towards the 33s and 35s, and then we sold it. Well, who knows? Maybe we buy it back and we ride that wave. I'll be watching AAL to give me a signal that the airlines want to get back up, and I could look for a buy maybe above 32s for Love Southwest Airlines for a move back towards 34 and 35. Doesn't look too bad. JetBlue is on the lows of the lows. You could come after this company, but who knows what happens to JetBlue? It's pretty damn weak right now, down to $6. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Walmart is going to send Walgreens out of business. Yeah, Walmart is probably going to send Walgreens out of business. Let's just be honest. When you go to get, like, let's say even health things, right? You can go to a Walmart. You can go to a Target. Do you really need to go to a Walgreens anymore? And I think one of the biggest things that's affecting Walgreens right now is what? What do we hear on the news constantly? The shoplifting, right? That's going on at retail. Have you guys been to a Walgreens lately? I don't know about you guys, but I cannot handle going to Walgreens anymore. I do not want to have to call somebody to come unlock the glass so that I can just get what? A lotion, a cream? Come on, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to be waiting 20, 30 minutes for someone to unlock something just to give it to me because they're hiding it behind a glass screen because they don't want it to be stolen. And I think that's going to be the negative outlook that you start seeing in Walgreens is why go? No customer service, nobody walking around the store. I got to go searching for an employee to open stuff. I don't want to go to Walgreens anymore. I would rather just go to Walmart. And Walmart's not everywhere. Where is Walmart not in the United States? If you don't have a Walmart in your 10 miles from you, man, I don't know where you live, man. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on, but definitely Walgreens story doesn't seem good for me, and I don't think I want anything to do with this kind of business. All right, let's talk about an interesting outlook that Chris is bringing up. I'm liking how WTI is fighting to stay over 80, helping the oil names, of course. And I think that this is an important outlook to keep an eye out for, right? And I've talked about the levels that we want to see, right? Can we take back the 82 going towards 84 and 85? Today, we had some nice kind of like push there in WTI. We can take a look at the day's range. The range got from 79.61 to 80.87. Where are we going, guys? Are we going back to 77? Are we going back to 84? That's going to be an important outlook. Back through the 82s, going to 84, oil goes higher. And that will push the XLE higher. If that breaks and it gets back into the lower 70s, the 75s, the 74s, that's where I can see this trade also turn around. Now, one thing I can see is that the 50-day is really moving close towards that 200-day, showing you what? Recent action has kept the price at the top end of the range, and the faster moving average, the 50, is slowly catching up. So the recent action is bullish, and the long-term action has remained bullish on XLE. Now we're going to take a look to see if we can really get a next drive through 90s, going to 94, at least from the chart. We'll see what happens on XLE. And of course, you guys can take a look at some other energy names, whether that be XOM or whichever ones you guys are taking a look at. And they don't have Walmart's within 30 miles of Santa Barbara because it attracts undesirables in the city, said as the city. Oh my God, man. Hey, California is on a different ball game. Let's just say that, Dr. D. I will tell you that, to tell you the truth, man, California is on a different ball game than a lot of places in the United States. So, hey, I can't tell you what they do over there. I can tell you, at least from the majority of the United States, Walmarts will be easy to find. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is going on in the market. Chris is bringing an interesting question. Kevin wants to take a look at NIO coming in tomorrow. We could definitely take a look at some of the earnings reports that are coming up. And there isn't the biggest earnings reports, but we need to keep an eye out for them, right? There's still some that will be showing up this week. Here's the calendar. You guys can see NIO coming in. Best Buy is definitely on my radar. So let's talk about those two. And then we'll go ahead and get back to Chris's question about the SPY. All right, so let's take a look. NIO, what is this one doing? Well, NIO has pulled back here towards the 11. I think this is actually a really good outlook here for it to actually get a nice push up. I know that's probably against what you're looking at, Kevin. I'm not saying this to be against you, but what happened with this stock, right? Well, what happened with this stock was right here. When the stock did a little bit of a pullback, it got up there to 10, came back here to 9s, and I was looking for a move back through 10s for a move higher. Of course, what actually gave this spark of NIO going to 15 was what? Was when you heard China subsidies, more tax credits for their EVs. That's what pushed this higher. Now I'm looking to see, can they actually come in and start pushing the stock higher again? If it gets back there to the 15, this could actually be a really good continued move. So I like how you have multiple levels right here, 1050 to hold off of. I'm not long this position, nor would I be into the earnings reports. But if I can see this stock get back above the 1150 with, let's say, a decent earnings report tomorrow, yeah, I can be looking for pullbacks for attempt running back there towards 15. XPEV has been getting a nice little lift today. They had a nice partnership. And I also take a look at LI. A lot of these partnerships are looking pretty decent. And now I'm just going to be looking to see if all these stocks can kind of hold their moving average and make the step up. We'll see what happens. Kevin says the way this market has been lately, I doubt it. That's true. And you're not wrong in that outlook. Current environment definitely plays into earnings. And that's why I wouldn't be playing the earnings call, because maybe that just goes with the current environment, like you're mentioning, Kevin. I don't think there's a wrong thing in thinking that. The only thing that I can see is that these charts have a nice little sideways consolidation, a little bit of sleepiness in them. Let's see if the earnings reports wakes them back up. All right, Chris is talking about the SPY getting rejected. Let's take a look at the SPY. All right, so one thing that I can see on the SPY, and I'll talk about this all the time because I use this indicator a lot, the 9 EMA indicator, right? And then the biggest thing for me on the 9 EMA indicator is to look to see if we can start to close above it. You can see here we closed above it at 443, and here below it at 436. So now we're starting to try to reclaim that 9 EMA and close again above it towards 443s. If we could take 444s and start making them move higher, yes, I think we can turn this around and the correction could be done. But we could be in this kind of sideways period now. And I think that that's something that you need to be keeping an eye out for. Will we just stay sideways between here is one thing to keep in mind that could easily happen. So we'll see if we actually push back through that 445 high. I'll be looking for the high here to get taken out, 445.22. If that does happen, yeah, you get the ride higher. But if you come right back into the 440s, 438s, it could just be a long chop process as the SPY determines where it wants to go. And rule of three won't necessarily play here too much because what do I see on the chart? I see about 1 or 2 downside attempts on the charts. I don't see the rule of three coming into play specifically. And if I was looking on this side action, I'd see what a down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3, up 3, could make a move up here and then flush down. That's why I don't think it's the rule of three just yet. We'll see what happens there. Disney coming up by Bug Log. Let's take a look at Disney. It did get a little bit of a bounce. Disney for a long-term approach. I can tell you right now, I am, you guys can call me a Disney hater right now, and I am one of those. So Bug Log, if you're looking for this on the long, I might not be one of those people that can lean you that direction. Like always, I'm not here to lean you in any direction. You always make your investment advice, but I just don't like the way Disney's going. I don't like their future outlook. I don't like their growth outlook. I don't like their products right now. I don't see them turning this around. What is it going to be that turns them around? You guys tell me. If anything, you're going to hear the same things that have already been mentioned. Disney Plus. Maybe it's just a brand that doesn't go away. Things like this. But is that really a positive catalyst for the company? No. I need to see future earnings come in here. Now, when you think about maybe like Warner Brothers, this has been, pushed down further, far enough to maybe this can get a little bit of some streaming lift. I think overall, one that's going to surprise us and start to do really well is Apple TV. That's one that I think that could get a little bit better and actually put to shame Disney Plus. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on in the markets. Dr. D wants to take a look at Rivian. Okay. Rivian. All right. So Rivian's on the pullback and very similar pullback, right? You guys can see that pullback. And these charts don't look too different, right? NIO, Rivian, they don't look too different. Look how this chart also doesn't look too different here. We need to see what happens to the autos overall. I like to pay attention to Tesla. When Tesla's doing really well, autos have a tendency of doing really well also. So that's the way I feel about it for Rivian. And it's going to be more about the growth outlook. Can we stay in growth names? At least here, you can see that this support here was holding really well, this 1951. I'd really want to see the 9 EMA reclaim and show me that you can close above there at least a day or two to show me that, hey, yeah, this stock really wants to start coming back to 22, and then maybe it comes back towards like 22.50 the next day. That's what I want to see to show me that Rivian really wants to get strong and come back here for this support. So you guys can see this daily support here that was acting as support around the 24 spot. We need to come back and reclaim that 24 if we're looking for a breakout. We'll see what happens there. Oxy is looking good for a long. Yeah, it doesn't look good off that. It doesn't look bad off that 62 mark. If it can hold 62, get back up there through 64, it'll be looking pretty decent. JBL by Joan. JBL doesn't look too bad here as this goes higher. Electronic component, and this hasn't wanted to go anywhere as of late. It was pulling back a little bit. Now caught the bounce here. We'll see if it can hold some pullbacks back below 110. Doesn't look too bad. Definitely a trending stock. Now, the only question is, how do we come after it after a big day like this? There's not much there. All right, guys, it's 4 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Mystery Man, it's all good for you being a little late. It's going to happen, team. Definitely smash the like if you guys are enjoying the outlook of Start Swing Trade. That's, of course, where I talk about the sectors and the industries, going through different areas to look into the market. Of course, my biggest outlook is to continue to watch the banks to show me if this market's going to start coming back. If banks could come back, yes, I do think that tech could get the name again. But for some reason, I keep seeing the weakness there on the KRE and different regional banks and things like this. This is what keeps me on the sideline right now. We'll just have to wait and find out. But I do want to let you guys know, like always, we'll have great shows for you guys all week long on Benzinga. Don't want you guys to miss out, of course, on the Cathie Wood interview. Want to let you guys know a little bit more about that. So, like always, guys, check out everything that we got for you guys. I want to show you guys a little bit of the promo here for Cathie Wood. And don't miss that. That's going to be on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on Benzinga. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. We just hit 200,000 subscribers, team. Tomorrow, I will be celebrating that on the back end of Benzinga Live. So I want you guys to join Benzinga Live if you guys don't on the usual. And definitely check out my man AB as he'll go through some AI stocks. And then, of course, we'll get to the action celebrating 200,000 subscribers and more as we keep growing right here, of course, on Benzinga. But now to play you guys that Cathie Wood promo, check it out, team. You guys don't want to miss this interview. And I'm telling you, it's always been fire between Raz, Cathie Wood, and any question that comes in between. Will it be Tesla that gets a question? Bitcoin, Elon? Who knows what you might find in this interview?
We have a very strong point of view about what's going to happen to interest rates. For every dollar in hardware that artificial intelligence causes to be spent, there will be somewhere between $8 and $21 in software. Well, we think Cybertruck is going to expand the truck market.